Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Hello again. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel for another Legacy video. This deck is a wild one. This is a brew submitted by King of the Depths from Patreon, and what King of the Depths was trying to do here is break Winter Orb synergy by using Cloud of Faeries and Soul Herder. That was basically the core concept of the plan. Like, everyone's under Winter Orb, you get a Cloud of Faeries into play. When this enters the battlefield, untap up to 2 lands. If you can blink it every turn with Soul Herder, you get to untap 2 lands every turn. Possibly even Rishadan Port and the land to activate it. So that way, when your opponent goes to untap 1 land in their untap step, you tap it right away, and they may never get more than 1 mana for the rest of the game. So there is sort of like a hardlock prison element to this, and it's a pretty powerful endgame. Everything around that shell I've kind of rebuilt here. There was like sort of this flying theme with Pride, not Pride Sovereign, that's a green card. Sovereign of the Clouds, maybe. Cat Sovereign, Sky Cat Sovereign. There was a number of blue-white creatures that care about like how many flying creatures you have, and they make flying creatures themselves. And I got off of that and just leaned into the fairy plan. So King of the Depths had Cloud of Faeries and 3 Spellstutter Sprites and 2 Fairy Seers. I went all the way up to 4 Spellstutter Sprite, and I replaced the Fairy Seers with Fairy Miscreant. So Fairy Seer is a 1 mana fairy with 1 mana 1/1 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 2. Fairy Miscreant, when it enters the battlefield, if you control another creature named Fairy Miscreant, you draw a card. So the first Fairy Seer is much better than the first Fairy Miscreant, but the second Fairy Miscreant is much better than the second Fairy Seer. And this is a deck building tension that Pauper players will know well, and it's one that I've debated a lot. But I've gone off enough times in my life with Fairy Miscreants to know that this is powerful and not to be underestimated. Plus, if I'm working towards this Soul Herder endgame, I do want a creature in my deck that actually blinks for continuous value. Like blinking Stoneforge Mystic, that'll work a couple times. There are some equipment in the deck. Blinking Cloud of Faeries to untap lands. If we're set up with the Winter Orb, that does make sense. But Fairy Seer just blinking to scry 2 every turn versus if I can draw a card every turn, that's what I'm going to go with. So that's the weird part of the deck. It's sort of spliced into this blue-white Stoneblade shell. We have Thalia and Mother of Runes doing a Death and Taxes impression. Stoneforge Mystic, if Sword of Fire and Ice, Umezawa's Jitte, and Cauldron Complete are the weapons I've chosen. I'm not convinced that Cauldron Complete is just better than Batterskull in the context of Legacy, because gaining life is pretty important in a lot of matchups. But I'm going to try this because it's new. I've been looking for an excuse to do it, and this deck's already wild enough. We might as well get scrappy with Cauldron. And that's the deck. So we're going to have Aether Vial and Cloud of Faeries to break synergy of Winter Orb and hopefully get people with Spellstutter Sprite. This is one of my favorite cards. It's sort of, this was like a real Legacy card for a while, probably 10, 12 years ago, a while ago. But now it's in the fringes. It's sort of even off the fringes, but every time you play it, you get blowouts because Legacy is a format built on cheap spells. And if you can 2-for-1 your opponent, like actually counterspell while producing a real creature on the board, that's worth a lot. Things I'm worried about with this deck include Plague Engineer. First and foremost, that's the big one. But I do have a diverse spread here. Like, they could just break up the Fairy Engine with Plague Engineer completely. Those are all X1s. But there is an Elemental, there's a Spirit, there's 2 humans, and there's a Core Artificer, and a Germ. So they're not going to just win with Plague Engineer, but it is kind of tough. We're less exposed to Plague Engineer than traditional Death and Taxes is. In the sideboard, I have counterspells, the Force of Wills and the Mindbreak Trap, because some people are just going to beat us with combo decks, and I don't want that to happen. Surgical Extraction, Pithing Needle, rest in peace. These are all ways to break up combo decks. And I have a bunch of Solitudes. Mostly I've just been looking for an excuse to play this card. This is the new Swords to Plowshares Invocation from Modern Horizons 2. And this is a really cool card. If I can get into play with Soul Herder, I'm never losing a creature matchup, which, might be a big ask, but there will be grindy games, especially with Winter Orb involved. Like, the game's going to go long, and it's going to be pretty reasonable to start casting this thing for 5 mana, and then start blanking it. So I'm into that. You can also do Aether Vial tricks. Like, if you have Vial on 3, you can evoke Solitude and then flicker it, and it'll come back forever. So there are some cool things to do with that. Looking at the sideboard now that I'm talking about it, I actually think I want Deafening Silence more than I want the third Solitude or the Moat. Like, Moat's pretty awkward. The original build of the deck that was like exclusively flying creatures, Moat made a lot of sense, but Moat's a hard card to cast when you're a deck with Winter Orb and Thalia in it. So Moat's out of here, and let's move in on Deafening Silence. I think that will be more effective versus the combo decks that we want to beat. So here we are. This is Fairy Taxes, I guess. Let's get into these games. I'm on the play with this hand that does a really good Death and Taxes impression for kind of a long time too. This Soul Herder may or may not arrive like before the game is over. If I could just do like the Mom into Thalia into Stoneforge thing. I don't know, we'll see. But here's Mother of Runes. I haven't put this card into play in a long time. This Flooded Strand should cause some confusion in my opponent, or at least it's worth asking the question of what are they up to over there? Alright, so Thalia, okay, yeah, I'm gonna play Thalia. If I drew a second land, I probably would have wasted there and just tried to screw them, but that's not what happened. But now, if I draw another land, I can waste that Volk again and play the second Thalia. But I definitely need to draw land. That's step 1. They redeployed the Volk and they have Dragon Rage Channeler. Alright, come on, land. Yes, it's even a good one. I'm going to Wasteland first because they can't daze. Like, I could play around daze by playing the land, or I could just remove the island that they would be able to daze off of. So they have 2 instants and a land in the graveyard. This Dragon's Rage Channeler is not getting through my first strike Thalia. They can't bolt. Let's see how this game looks in a turn or two. Like, if they go land, land, bolt over the next couple turns, that's a play they could have. But I'm getting Stoneforge Mystic, and I'm just going to get Kaldra and go to town. Ooh, a basic island and a Delver. Delver's a real creature. Much better than Dragon's Rage Channeler. Like, much more worthy of my respect. So, return it to the battlefield. I could just jam Soul Herder now, while they can't daze or force, but what that does is basically untap Thalia and give me a 2/2 at the expense of not having Stoneforge Mystic. So I'm going to fetch a basic island, and I'm going to play Stoneforge Mystic and leave up Karakas for my Thalia. And I'm pretty sure I get to attack this turn. I mean, I certainly could attack. I'm not sure if I should. Like, if Delver doesn't flip, I'm going to wish I didn't attack. Is that even true? Like, do I care? How do I lose this game? I think if I just, like, the way that I lose this game is if I mess up. So I'm just going to play it safe, like super safe, and just protect the queen on this Kaldra. Delver did not flip. Now I'm glad I didn't attack. So if they go land, ponder, and surveil a creature off Dragon's Rage Channeler, they can attack, but nah, they're just dead. Alright, Death and Taxes versus Delver, the classic matchup. Alright, what changes here? I think I want the Solitudes just as maximum removal. If the game goes long, I'm going to win it. Just period. I don't think I can bring in Palace Jailer because Ragavan, they can dash it with haste, and that can just mess up all sorts of things. So I don't think that's a play available to me. The deck's mostly pre-boarded for Delver. The Winter Orb is a big problem. And the reason is Delver decks frequently play Winter Orb against mana hungry decks like this one, and I think I would rather just have my mana under me all the time. Like, I'm going to have bigger spells than them. I'm going to have more powerful spells than them. They're going to try to beat me playing small ball, and I'm not interested in losing to that. I could bring in Rest in Peace, which checks the Dragon's Rage Channeler and potential Murktide Regents. I could also bring in Deafening Silence, which could slow them down on their like cantripping and deck manipulation. I also could just bring in the Palace Jailer and commit to a big game with 3 plows, all the Faeries, Jite Solitude. So it's one of these 3 white cards up here is the one that I want to bring in, and I don't think it's Deafening Silence. So it's Rest in Peace or it's Jailer. Rest in Peace will cost 3 some amount of the time with Thalia, though keeping those Rage Channelers out of the sky is a pretty big deal. Okay, I think I want the Rest in Peace. If there's a game 3 where I'm on the play, maybe I'll consider the Palace Jailer, but still probably rather have Rest in Peace. This is functionally a no-lander. I'm going to mulligan it. There we go. The opponent kept 6. I will also keep 6. And I think I want to send the Caracas. Because if I'm going to be exposed to Wasteland, I just want Tundra. And I'm already exposed to Wasteland with the other Tundra. So might as well lean in. And if I draw basic planes, then the Scalding Tarn gets a lot better. Okay, I'm going to play my basic planes and ship. They did lead on Channeler, so Rest in Peace is a reasonable card to have here. I take my 1. I will never be unimpressed by that. Like, that's just so bad compared to Delver. I thought this card would be great and Ragavan would be medium. It turns out that Ragavan is pretty good and this card is medium. And if you follow Legacy Twitter, you may think that both are broken, but I have been thoroughly unimpressed by Dragon's Rage Channeler basically all the time. So I'm going to let them Surveil, and then I'm going to Swords to Plowshares. Like, I wanted them to make the decision on the Surveil before the Plow went on the stack, but I didn't want them to brainstorm into counterspells. But now this is fine. That's just Hymn to Tarok. Oh, they pitched Expressive Iteration, so it's Mind Twist. Just discard 3 cards. They have Creature and Instant in the graveyard. Fetchland gets them to 3. If they fetch and play Ponder right now, they actually can crunch in for the full 3 damage. But if this Brainstorm doesn't find a land or doesn't find a fetch land, they're in all kinds of trouble. Right, Brainstorm did find a fetch land. I hope that this Rest in Peace makes them really regret milling the Delver and the Dragon's Rage Channeler. I want to punish their greed for not respecting the creatures. So I'm going to lead on Rest in Peace. Play around days with this one. If I get another Hymn to Tarok off of this with a Force of Will, that's a deal. Alright, cool. Do I want to wiggle in this Fairy Miscreant? It can block, but it also gives them a target for days. And I don't have to let them daze anything. Yeah, I think I can just pass the turn here. And I can double spell Fairy Miscreant and Stoneforge Mystic next turn and play around days with both. Here's the attack. This thing has been in play unmolested for 3 turns now, and I'm still at 17. Okay, there's a real creature. About time. They showed me some respect. Alright, Aether Vial is not a bad card. So I'm going to fetch Tundra and play my other Tundra. I'm already exposed to Wasteland. Let's just lean in. So I'm going to lead on Stoneforge. Right, it's in there. I'm going to get Cauldra. I'm here to race at this point. And I'm going to get Aether Vial in. Like, Stoneforge Mystic can block Dragon's Rage Channeler, and I can Vial the Miscreant next turn and just guarantee that it's in. I smell a Lightning Bolt from a mile away here. Yep. It didn't go to my face. Count it. Right, they put their card on top. That probably set up the Delver. Flicker Wisp can reset the Delver at some point. They're running out of cards over there. They revealed Ponder. Not a bad one when we're top decking. Oh, this poor Surveil. I mean, it adds a card to every cantrip that you see, which does matter. But it's just not going anywhere. It's just a 1/1 with Surveil. I really hope I draw another Fairy Miscreant and I get to go off. And by go off, I mean draw one card. They chose to shuffle their Ponder. That's good news. Love when they do that. Alright, so Vial. Put a counter on you. Shot Import. That's a magic card. So I can cast Flicker Wisp. Yeah, I think I want to do that. I'm going to flicker the Delver. If they have Force of Will, that's fine. But let's just at least make this Delver little. At least for a turn. I guess that might not even make it little for a turn. It comes back in the end step, and then it could flip instantly. Alright, I'm going to let their Delver trigger resolve, and then port them. Ported. Delver didn't flip. Fairy Miscreant can ambush and kill this whole board. Blazing Volley. Oh, bummer. Miscreant is going to block Delver, not Channeler, because, like I said, it's not a card I have a lot of respect for, especially with Rest in Peace in play. They had the Lightning Bolt. Bummer. It's still funny that they had to Lightning Bolt Fairy Miscreant. Alright, they did in fact have it. That's the right play. It's just funny. Okay, so Blazing Volley, Lightning Bolt answered. They're down to one card in hand, so am I, but I have Aether Vial. Let's break this open somehow. Cloud of Faeries. I get to port 2 of their lands. That's so fucking funny. Alright. Oh, wait. I can cast Kaldra. That's... Ah, shit. I blew it. I should have tapped 5. I can wait a turn and play around Daze to do this. Oh, that was bad. I lost an attack there. Didn't even think of my own lands untapping. Okay, I'm just going to port them. I'm going to let Delver trigger resolve first. Because if they're going to brainstorm to try to set up Delver, I want to tap a land that they were not going to use anyway. Alright, Delver didn't flip. Oh, let's see if this Kaldra came too late or what. Oh, this is the first Mishra's Bauble I've seen alongside Dragon's Rage Channeler. Like, this is something we talked about on Eternal Glory. Like, playing Mishra's Baubles or, like, Tarfires to really turbo this thing into Delirium. And it's not something I've seen Delver decks do. They've just been playing fair with the normal instant creature land sorcery decks. So they baubled me. I can cast Kaldra around Daze this turn. And then the race is on. Or if I draw a land. Daze is going to blow me right the hell out. If... Oh. Wow, so much respect for Aether Vial. Okay, I guess I do have to leave it on 2, though. Alright, they've seen a card that I have not. I'm going to leave it on 2. Oh, Cloud of Faeries again. Okay, here we go. Violet in. Cloud of Faeries. Untap 2 lands. Hope they don't have Daze. Are we in? We're in! And attack. Alright, now Kaldra's racing. Alright, Kaldra's dealt its damage. And now I have a blocker in play, at least for Channeler. And we're racing Delver. I think if Delver doesn't flip this turn, they're dead. Delver didn't flip. They're lightning bolting. Okay, so they want to mill their card before they draw it. Yeah, they milled a Dragon Rage Channeler. It's also really lucky that Cloud of Faeries was the card they saw off their Mishra's Bauble, because I was gonna make that play anyway, and now they don't know that it's Cloud of Faeries in my hand. I take my 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at 1 on board, but not with these Fairies in hand. I'm going to leave it on 2. Not quite what I was looking for, but let's go. So I can play the second Aether Vial. The game's not going to go that long, but I can do it. Second Vial's in. Just got to hope that last card in their hand isn't Lightning Bolt or Brainstorm. Uh-oh, the Delver flipped Revealing Ponder. There's some trouble on the horizon. Okay. I've ported them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ponder finds Lightning Bolt, I lose. They kept a card on top of their library. I don't think vialing in Cloud is going to save me. Like, I could vial in and port them, but they can float mana because we're already in the phase where they're going to want to cast their spell. The good news is if they have Bolt. If they bolt Fairy, then they don't bolt me, and vice versa. Alright, so I can port their Volk during combat. Leaving back Dragon's Rage Channeler. That does absorb 1 damage and doesn't change the clock. It's a reasonable decision to make. Here comes the Cloud. We get to untap, port, and a land. Port them off red right now. Bolt or bust. So I don't think I have any way to deal exactly 2 damage. So I think I do wanna... Now going to 2 doesn't seem great. I'm gonna chump. I can't think of a reason to have that card in play or not in play. I guess Soul Herder, but because the Delvers are bearing down, Solitude is my best draw. That is the one. Right, counters on both of these. Flicker Wisp is also really good. That wasn't it. Okay, I'm dead. Alright, they navigated it. Didn't find any removal here. I did get to hardcast Kaldra, so count that. But, oh, they left back Dragon Rage Channeler and then didn't even block with it. Alright, fair enough. I'm out of here. Game 3. So I could bring in the Palace Jailer. That is a removal spell. It's a little dangerous. The Rest in Peace was good though. Like, no doubt about that. I think the Cloud of Faeries is a little silly. And it did let me cast Kaldra, which is fucking sweet. I'm glad we got that on the record. But do I want a second Rest in Peace? It did really, really help dominate that game. But I think I have to count the removal, or use the removal. Trust in the removal at least a little more. This is a tough call. I'm just going to submit the deck. Here we go. A white source. This hand goes off, but this is a mulligan. Alright, here we go. This is a keeper. I'm going to send Karakas to the bottom. And I'm just going to get Tundra. I also have Wasteland. If they want to play a Wasteland game, like if they waste my Tundra, then I get to cast Stoneforge Mystic. Or I guess that's not true. If they waste my Tundra, that takes them a turn off of things when I'm on board already. Like I lose the mana for Stoneforge Mystic, obviously, but I still have mana, and I have a Wasteland of my own. If we want to get into this scrappy game, if they want to play that against me, we can do that. All right, they do have the Wasteland, and they're firing it. It's fine with me. I was born to this. Oh, you didn't know? Yes, we're going off. Oh, Aether Vial was a great draw. That will incentivize me to just fire this Wasteland off on their turn. Like, if they waste me again, they're now facing down 2 attackers. And if they don't waste me, I can waste them and play Aether Vial. And then we're in this scrap fest together. Alright, Fork Bolt's really good. I already drew a card, though. No regrets. Ooh. Put you in the bin. I would not have used that Wasteland if I didn't have Aether Vial. I would just want to be perfectly clear that I need to play on more lands than they do. Ooh, they missed their land drop. Oh yeah, you're out of here. Better have Force of Will, you're dead right now. Even if you don't, I'll vial in Stoneforge Mystic a turn later. Force pitching Murktide Regent. So I can vial in Mom this turn, vial in Stoneforge the following turn, and then I have Kaldra with the backup. Murktide Regent confirmed, by the way. It is in the deck. So the Rest in Peace was doing some extra work. Uh-oh. Now Mom's in. That's bad for our opponent. Virtual card advantage. Alright, no attacks, obviously. And so what weapon do I want to get this game? Is it Kaldra or is it Sword of Fire and Ice? It could be Jitte. I mean, they're all on the table. They're all pretty good. I guess it depends on what they do this turn. If I draw a land, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm not going to equip Mother of Runes and just fire in and turn on all their bolts. So it's a 2-turn line to start attacking with Sophie or Jitte. And will Kaldra just win the game in that period of time? They're not going to kill Stoneforge because I have Mom. And I'm untapping immediately. Like, they would need to go... They've already... Yeah, they played Flooded Strand this turn, so they don't even have a land drop. They would have to, like, have another land and bolt in the end step to fight Kaldra. I'm just going for the fences here. Please attack with Delver. Please attack with Delver. Please attack with Delver. Coward. Alright. Yeah, there's like a small line there where attacking with Delver, if they also have Lightning Bolt, they lose their Delver, but they get to kill Mom. Or if I get super greedy, they just get to kill Mom for free. And I'm just gonna fetch because I actually just don't want to draw lands. Vial, putting it to 3 does make sense here. Give the Soul Herder the Flicker Wisp. Easily draw Soul Herder, no questions asked. Kaldra is complete. And I'm gonna Vial and Soul Herder and blank Stoneforge Mystic. This is broken. Absolutely broken. Who said Blue-Red Delver was the best deck in the format? It wasn't me. Wow. As expected, they're not beating this. A complete pounding of Blue-Red Delver to kick off the league. Not a bad start. On to the next one. On the draw for round number 2 with his banger of a hand. I have Aether Vial and a bunch of Mana Disruption. That's all I ever want. Right. Ooh, we're playing an Aether Vial Mirror. Alright, my Mana Disruption might not be what I had hoped for. But I'm going to fetch a basic Plains and match them. This is going to be a really interesting match. It's one way or the other. And I have the Swords to Plowshares if they sneak in Mother of Runes on me here. Time to see if Soul Herder can beat this deck. Alright, well. They can port me. I'm just going to let it happen. I don't think there's a reason to float white here. I am going to play the Tundra, even though it plays into Wasteland, because if they sneak in Mother of Runes right now, I need to be able to plow it. And... good news, everybody. Oh, it's Giver. I don't need to plow that right away, but might as well. I'm not getting anything else with it. If they just untap Violent Thalia, then I don't get to plow anyway, so... yeah, just get rid of it. Alright, Thalia is in play. Mostly don't care. So, here's my Vial. Yeah, that's tapped. You got me. They missed a land drop. That's noteworthy. So I'm going to waste their Rishadan Port. Try to keep them under their own Thalia here. If they play a 1-drop, which they'd have to pay 2 for, I can Spellstutter Sprite it. If they do anything else, I can Stoneforge Mystic. And I'm probably going to Vial in or cast Flicker Wisp next turn to reset their Vial. Okay, here comes Thalia. If they don't play a spell, like if they hardcast Mother of Runes, then I can Sprite it. But yeah, we're going in on Stoneforge here. Which they cannot plow because of their own Thalia. Ooh, what do they got? They have like Aven Mind Sensor, Flicker Wisp. What does that do? They're flickering my Vial. Okay. You got me. I am going to use this to get... Umezawa's Jitte has to be the correct one. Alright, I've got Jitte. My Vial will come back in my end step. So, hundreds of years from now. And I'm going to play Flicker Wisp here and blank their Vial. I can't do it in the end step like they did, but I at least get to reset here, and we both have Vials starting the chain again, but I have 3 lands to their 0. I have 4 cards in their hand to their 3. So here we are, just playing some Death and Taxes magic. And now I have a flyer, most importantly, to crack in with the Jitte. If I draw a land, I can forge in the Jitte, swing with Wisp. Alright, they didn't attack or do anything. Land? Oh yeah. Alright, here comes Jete, and I'm gonna sweep their board. They can't plow because of their own Thalia again. Alright, so I connected with the first Jete in a Death and Taxes mirror. Alright, so that happens. And I am not going to destroy Thalia right away because I think it's helping me more than it's hurting me. Like any amount of Swords to Plowshares in their hand, another Aether Vial, they're all just stuck there until they find another land. And I'm winning the damage race, so I don't even need to worry about that. And I have a flyer coming in. Yes. Draw. Oh, I can hard cast Soul Herder and still port them or Thalia. I can basically do everything. So I'm going to equip here. And I guess I just fire in. Like, what can they vial in that will be better than this? Yeah, didn't think so. And then I can Soul Herder to get things popping. Oh yeah, this is great. I'm having so much fun. I don't even know if this is right, but you better believe I'm doing it. Like, maybe just leaving Jete on this creature is the correct play, but I'm still doing the damn thing. So I can put Jete on Herder next turn, which is just way better. Tutor up Kaldra. Who would have thought that blue cards are going to break a mono white mirror? Mostly them not having any mana is what's breaking this mirror. There's a wasteland that they can never activate. I guess Wasting Port does a similar thing, but just wait for this. Are you fucking ready? Here we go. Oh my god. Moments before disaster. Here it is. Ah. Oh no, they have Flicker Wisp. Boo. Boo. Boo this person. Oh, that works too. That one at least leaves me with a 2/2 when the dust settles. But do they even take the sprite? Is that better than just removing Jete? Can that possibly be real? I guess Kaldra, if that's that bad of a problem for you. Okay. And that makes Soul Herder bigger because something was exiled. And it'll happen again with the Swords to Plowshares. So I just have this 4/4 now. And I'm gonna kill all their creatures and attack them for 6 on their turn. And still get Jete counters. Kill Thalia, kill Skyclave Apparition. Enjoy my 2/2 token. I think I do want to go up to 3 on this file now for Flicker Wisp reasons. That was an important draw. So attack for this many. Do I start pushing for damage or do I just leave counters on Jete? Probably just leave counters on. And I actually do want to cast Thalia rather than port them twice because I do want to keep growing Soul Herder and I can't very well blink my token. Alright, here we are. Port their planes in the upkeep. At least minimize some of this activity. Bummer. Alright. Still got Jete. Soul Herder triggers off itself. It was big. Even bigger than you thought. Alright, I still have 2 friends who can carry Jete. And if I draw a land, I'm 2 mana with Thalia, but I'm 1 land away from the 7 for Kaldra. Alright, there is the magic land number 7 for Kaldra. And I'm gonna equip the Thalia because if they do have Flicker Wisp, I don't want them to be able to remove my thing forever. Like, I want them to have to, if they want to keep counters off Jete, I want them to commit to bouncing a creature that actually will come back. I'm going to push for a little extra damage here. So 4, 5, 6. This is a 2-turn clock, and I can keep the counters loaded up. Now I'll land Hardcast Kaldra, even through Thalia. So port them now. I'm going to set a stop in their draw step. So this floating mana will go away, and then I can port their other planes in the draw step. If they want to cast Swords to Plowshares, they're going to lose all their mana for the turn. Okay, they did have a plow, which, unless they drew Flicker Wisp, is not going to be good enough. Okay, that was the right call. That keeps me off of Cauldra for a turn as far as they know. They are still dead on board to the illusion attack. If they have Flicker Wisp in their hand, they're actually stable here. Caracas, that doesn't bounce the Germ, so that's still fine. It's a nice place to be when both lands and non-lands are all good draws. Okay, here we go. I have enough counters that I can present lethal and still kill a Flicker Wisp. Alright, I'm just going for it. I'm not giving them another draw step if I don't have to. Oh, did they have it? Nope. Alright. That's fine. Alright, blue cards, breaking the Death and Taxes mirror. In this matchup, I like Palace Jailer and Solitude. Pithing Needle is a little loose because we both have all the same things. For the most part, like Aether Vial and most of the weapons are going to be pretty comparable. Winter Orb is pretty exciting here. They're not going to expect that. But should I even do it? Okay, I think Sword of Fire and Ice is the worst weapon, though I have a lot more flyers than they do. But I think Jitte and Cauldra are the hammers I'm looking for. Cloud of Faeries might be just not quite where I need it to be. I probably don't need all three Winter Orbs, because if they have Vial and I don't, Orb is terrible. If I have Vial and they do, Orb is great. And if we both have Vial, Orb is just weird. So I think I'm going to hold on to that, or cut one of them. And I love the Fairy package. Just having these counterspells that are also flying creatures in this matchup is insane. Thalia, not great. I do like the First Strike body to go with the weapons, but her effect isn't super good. But I think this is a good place to be. Let's go. I have a hand that is great. I'm going to keep it. In some colored mana would be nice, but Aether Vial is such a big deal. It's lucky that's Giver of Runes and not Mother, because, oof. This plow would look bad if it was Mother. It might look bad in a turn or two anyway. Okay, that's bad. I'm gonna need some white mana soon. They got Jitte, so they either don't have or don't think Cauldra is the play, which I'm cool with. Okay, so I have white. What does that do? Does it matter? I think I want to waste them and just reduce their ability to, or at least the speed at which they can produce Jitte. Sounds like it's worth doing to me. And I'm going to get basic planes here. The Snowlands are in this deck to go with the Winter Orb. It's a theme. In case you were wondering. Ooh. Are they just mess? Oh, they don't have a land drop. Wow. That's good news. Okay, here we go. Fairy Miscreant, take over this game. And I have Rishadenport for next turn, even if they find the land drop. Alright, let's draw another Miscreant and go off. That's all I want to do, is just draw Fairy Miscreants from here. Alright, that's not a Miscreant. It is a Rishadenport, however. And that's a good card when your opponent has one land. So I can port their planes in the upkeep. I don't even care about Swords to Plowshares right now. That's just not what this game's about. And it can only target Giver anyway. Alright, well, I'll play this. I can at least block. Just absorb 1 damage on principle. Grab this Jitte. Alright, we're doing it. I am going to take the Vials up to 2 and 3. Because I have Soul Herder. Card's pretty good. Nice. So, I'm going to put in Jitte. Attack for 1. And then herd some souls. I guess I should plow the Giver. Or does that even matter? Oh, I should get Soul Herder in first and then plow the Giver. Alright, yeah, we're just going off here. Alright, we managed to win the Death and Taxes mirrors where my opponent doesn't have any lands or any spells or do anything. I guess we haven't won yet, but I'd be impressed if they come back from this. Can I please just draw Fairy Miscreant and go off with Soul Herder, though? Like, for real. Oh, they found Caracas. That's so lucky. That was some bad sportsmanship, if you're wondering. I don't actually think they're lucky. They've been very unlucky this whole game. These vials are staying where they are. Oh, Solitude. You don't say. So, I can port them off Double Plow, port them off their own Cauldra, at least. Oh, I can put in Cauldra and equip Jitte, but not do both. And I can't port, or I can do both, but not if I'm also going to port them. So I'm off the port. It's time to Cauldra. I'm 1 mana away from hardcasting Solitude, and I have Soul Herder in play. This is a place to be. Here we go. Right, they do have a Swords to Plowshares that grows Soul Herder. So I don't get to Jitte this turn. I do get to attack with 9 damage. And I am going to flicker the Stoneforge at the end of turn just to untap it and also grow Soul Herder. Okay, they did have a second plow. Fair enough. So Soul Herder's big. They're starting to push out of this. Kinda. I mean, not really. Then flicker my thing. Yes, I'm out of weapons though. But I still gave it Vigilance and grew my Herder. That's all of them. Alright, they found their third land. Is it go time? Like, are we going to have a game after all? Alright, so they have Skyclave Apparition. Are they exiling Jitte or Soul Herder? Alright, they are taking the Jitte. Cool. Alright. Give me a land, please, deck. Do I want to start ticking Vial up? Because I can get it to 5 in 2 turns, or I could just try to draw the land. I think I just want to leave it where it is. Please, deck, give me the land. I would like to go completely bonkers here. That's also a good one. And I get to Soul Herd it. Alright, cool. I'll take that. I get a 2/2. Soul Herder gets bigger. Attack with Soul Herder. I'm going to attack with Stoneforge also, because that'll push 1 damage in if they decide to chump. And if they decide to bounce off instead, then Soul Herder gets through for 7. I'm going to blink Palace Jailer. And also exile Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, cool. Those are gone. Wow. What an engine. And I can cast the Solitude next turn. I don't see them getting out of this. There was a 1-turn window where that started to look a little competitive, but nope. It's not happening now. Stoneforge Mystic, sure. They have a Batter Skull. I guess on board, they don't know they're dead. I'm so glad that they want to play this out and let me do the Solitude thing. Because that's really what I wanted to do in this league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Solitude! This mirror seems seriously unwinnable. With all these... this preposterous version I've cooked up. I don't think they have any haste creatures or flash creatures, so they can plow my Herder. That's fine. I think I'll figure it out from here. I'm going to attack for 5. If I draw a 3-drop or 2-drop off the Monarch trigger, I can put it in right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 2 land drops away from just equipping Cauldra, but I think they'll be dead before that happens. I'm pretty sure my opponent is BMing at this point. It's been several minutes since I cast the Solitude, and they're just like clicking. They clicked slowly through the Soul Herder triggers, and it's all going to get edited out because it's dead air, but they've just been slowly letting the clock run out. Magic-Michael. You're on candid camera. It appears they've finally let me go to combat. I cast that Solitude 4 minutes ago, by the way. Alright, so I can draw a card. Ooh, I can Miscreant right now. Time for the blowout. In case they thought they weren't getting ported, they're wrong. I'm gonna target the basic planes. Okay. Get my little value in there. Not gonna get Cataclysmed. And that's the game, fam. I'm on the play with a 1-lander that is susceptible to Wasteland, but I do have Vile. I'm gonna keep this. Maybe this is wild. Maybe this is just a hand that Death and Taxes keeps. But, I mean, I'm very obviously Death and Taxes from this start. Oh no, they had the Force. Please don't also have the Wasteland. This might be a short game. Fuck! Alright, land. Fuck. Well, we're dead. They force-pitched Brainstorm on the Aether Vial. Volcanic Island. I mean, I could still draw lands, I guess. Alright. Kind of a land. Would have preferred a white one, but I mean, maybe not. Maybe like Cloud into Sprite is how I get back into this game. Let's see. Might not be as bad as I thought. Did they hit their land drop? Do they have a threat? Ragavan. Okay, it's time to draw a land right now. Right now, deck. Alright. Okay. Please don't daze me. Though dazing me to connect with Ragavan is a pretty good play here. Yup. And I was moving on the Cloud of Faeries because that ticks up the Spellstutter Sprite so it can counter 2-drops, in case that matters. And it also gives me 2 blockers if it resolves instead of 1. And if I just like didn't cast Cloud of Faeries because of Daze, then the Sprite gets dazed instead, and I think that will ultimately be a more important card. Alright, Swords to Plowshares with no targets. Don't mind that. The Wasteland's a little shitty. Waste my waste. Can I get a basic planes, please? Show me the basic planes. Alright, Fairy Miscreant can block Ragavan at least. Okay, it's in play now. Lightning Bolt's real good here. Force of Will I don't care about if I can protect Oh, they're tapping mana. Oh, iterating. They're iterating. Right, they exiled a Delver. So if they bolt, then they don't get this Delver. Nice, Ragavan's not going to be able to rumble this turn. I'll take that as a big win. Can I draw lands, please? Let's keep this going. Shit. Alright, probably just dead now. Did more this game than I thought I would after that start. The Force Wasteland. That was rough. Daze is in their hand, and Force of Will. Boy, I hope. I don't even know what I could do at this point. Like, I'm just dead in 3 turns. We know they have 2 counters. Daze is functionally a hard counter at this point. I guess that's not actually true. If I have... Alright, now I'm dead. Alright, that was too many 3-drops. That game is pretty trivial with Aether Vial involved, so they were correct to force it. Okay. Now I know I'm playing against a deck that I can't afford to keep wastable hands against. So I am playing against Ragavan, but I still think Palace Jailer is something I want. And I didn't see the Murktide Regent or the Dragon's Rage Channeler, but they're in there. So the Winter Orbs come out for these removal spells and sideboard cards. Thalia is real good. Cloud of Faeries is a maybe, though having an extra body on the board against Ragavan is pretty nice. Though the synergies are not the most exciting here. All 3 weapons do have applications in the matchup, so I don't want to go too low on the, or shave any. Flicker Wisp is good. I think Cloud of Faeries actually is just the worst card, and it's by a lot. And with the Winter Orb out, then the combo is also gone. So this is my deck. Alright, basic lands this time. I'm going to keep... I think I actually get the island because of the texture of this hand. In the Swords to Plowshares is an important card, but just look at my hand. They also have a basic island. It's a mirror match. They boarded into my deck between games. They shuffled their Ponder. I like that. Rashad Port's a good draw here. Okay, Basic Plains is also a good draw here. I'm gonna play around Stifle and just get the Plains. I don't think they have Stifle, but I'm not gonna give them the chance. I don't want to try to Spellstutter this, because if they have Daze, that might let them hit their land drop. Like, if they had already played their land for the turn, maybe just like Spellstutter Sprite as Stone Rain is fine. If they go for a threat here, I will stutter it though. Especially that one. Oh, countered. Ban Spellstutter Sprite. Alright, here comes the Miscreant. And I'm going to waste them, and I have Aether Vial can counter any card in their deck. I guess not Murktide Regent, if we're being sticklers. And I hope we are. So here comes the beats, and I get to play Mother of Runes. This game feels pretty good right now. They do have another land. If they have something like Blazing Volley, I have the Sprite for it. And they probably don't have very many cards like that, if they have any at all. This is worth countering. Because Mother of Runes just is such virtual card advantage against Delver. Like, every lightning bolt they draw is blank. Makes combat very difficult. Just protecting the mom is a huge deal. Right, there's Delver. I'm ready for that one. Am I ready to go up to 3 on this? Yeah, I think so. Rewarded instantly. So here come my idiots. I don't think I need to plow yet. Like, I don't really want to lose to a Murktide Regent. And I can flicker this Delver if it even flips. So Delver on the stack, trigger. Didn't flip. No worries. I will not block it with Mother of Runes. Alright, this is in 3/3 mode. Has to fight every turn. Brainstorm is reasonable. If I had 2 Mother of Runes, I would ignore this thing. But I don't. Like, it has to attack. So forcing it to attack into Flicker Wisp and then block with Mom is pretty exciting. But I don't want to get blown out by a Lightning Bolt. I also want to get Flicker Wisp in right now and start attacking. Really wish I had a second Fairy Miscreant to flicker with the Wisp and draw cards. Oh, I should have responded to Brainstorm with Plow, because now they can force it. They're fetching. They got more spells. Ragavan. Okay. So, which of these am I actually most worried about? I actually think I'm gonna zap the Ragavan. No, Ragavan can trade with any of these 1 toughness creatures. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of Dragon Rage Channeler. I do think that is the best one that they have. And Vial's just gonna be no forever. It's on 3 now. And attack with these 2. Spellstutter Sprite is my least important fairy. Fairy Miscreant is my most important fairy. That's the decision process there. Alright, Daze is in their hand. That's not a good card right now. Alright, so I'm gonna block with Spellstutter. Give it pro red. If they can bolt my mom in response, I can flicker Mom and protect her. I think that's the way to play this game. Braid my mother. I got more tricks, don't worry. Wisp. Exile Mom. They have a second bolt. Oh, Red Blast. Okay, sure. They have successfully protected their Ragavan. But that was a good play. I spent 0 cards on that play. I guess they removed my Spellstutter Sprite, which was already a 2-for-1. And I added to the board. Protected Mom. Now I know their hand is just Daze. That's a good place to be. Oh my god. Well, too bad their hand is Daze. I'm gonna crack with Flicker Wisp. I'm winning the race right now. I have Mom. You can trade if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Alright, there's that. Iteration is a very good draw. It usually is. They found a second Delver. Okay. So if I can find a land to get this sword into play, that's pretty good. Right, so always no from Aether Vial. Hey. I hope you drew Force, and by that I mean I hope you didn't draw Force. I am going to attack first. I am still winning this race. They still probably don't want to just put their Delver in the graveyard, with Mother of Runes. Alright, is your last card Force of Will or not? Alright, it was not. It's time to get sorty. Now I have pro their deck even without Mother of Runes. Flip Revealing Brainstorm. There's the Brainstorm. They probably don't have days anymore. I can safely get rid of that one. Alright, and they scooped it up. Too good. Spellstutter Sprite is insane. Unbeatable. Nothing's going to change about my deck for sideboard. I just think that's the best deck on both the play and the draw. Alright, I got Aether Vial off a basic land. I'm going to keep it. I have a lot of mana disruption too, so if they like ponder on turn 1, or just do nothing, I'm pretty well set up. Ooh, that sword will be nice eventually. If they daze this, it's going to Stone Rain them, which is fine. If they force it, I'll take a 2-for-1. Like, I have lands this game, unlike the first one. Obviously, I'd rather just have Aether Vial in play, though. Alright, I think they are deciding if this is something they want to daze or not, if that's worth the tempo. And it looks like they've chosen yes. Okay, cool. Stone Rain, you're up. And they didn't have a 1-drop last turn, which means that if they replay this Volcanic Island and don't have a play with it, okay, I mean, they had their Channeler. I'm still going to waste them. Yeah, just crack off the Wasteland here. I'm going to take my chance at cheesing them out. Right, they did have another land. Fine. Still glad this isn't Delver. Alright, so I can play Cloud here. That plays into Wasteland. And it plays into Reb. I think I want to spend a turn porting them. So that'll reduce what mana they have available coming into my turn. And it plays around days for next turn. So I take my 1, and I'll just port their fetch land if they don't do anything with it. Now they have the choice of let me wasteland to their fetch land, or fetch and let me waste the land they get, or commit to a color when they're playing on 1 land. So they're going to have to decide right now. Alright, let's try wasteland. Bummer. Alright, so they can't daze me. Let's Cloud. So I untap these 2. And then I have Spellstutter and Plow right now. Yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, I almost targeted my own creature with that. Slow down. I'm gonna hit him with that. They also can't daze this turn because they don't have islands. Do I want to just work the Jitte in while they're tapped out? I think so. Make them have the force. Yeah, that felt good. Tapping down off Spellstutter hurts a little, but like everything that I would want to Spellstutter this turn gets gotten by Jitte too. They're committing. They know I don't have Wasteland right now, or else I would have just stripped them off last turn. Yeah, removing my creature from play. Probably a smart idea. This one, I'm going to port them. Or, no, I'm going to Spellstutter them. Okay, I take it back. We're in combat now. I'm going to tap their land. Oh, I should have waited for the end step. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Alright, we can do this for a little while. They should have the read on Spellstutter, the fact that I didn't port them in their upkeep. And I'm still gonna do that. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, do they take out Port or Tundra? Like, if they take out Tundra, it might delay my ability to play the game a little bit, but Rishadan Port takes away their ability to play the game, which is probably more important to them. Or they're just playing Null Rod. That's pretty good. Alright, yeah, sure, you have a Null Rod. And then I will play Spellstutter in the end step to get a creature on board. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, Mom. So, I think holding up Spellstutter is more important than porting them this turn. Because if I port them and they have Lightning Bolt, they get to kill the Mom. They need Bolt and Daze to stop Spellstutter Sprite. I guess they could waste me past to the next phase and Bolt then, so maybe that didn't make the most sense. But I am very clearly telegraphing Spellstutter Sprite. Right, if they just pass, I'm going to pass too. I'm not going to port them. I'm not going to tap low to port them. I think if they had Daze, they would have just fired off already. Alright, I'll float my blue. That at least plays around Chain Lightning. And I'm not going to port them. We're going to go to the end step here. Because porting them turns on Chain Lightning. If they have Bolt, they have Bolt. But yeah, at least I played around Chain. Alright, so time for a basic island. Or I can just, nickel and dime them with Spellstutter Sprite, because they chose to go after my Tundra instead of my port. This one's getting scrappy, folks. I like it. It's good magic. Nothing to bluff now, or represent. I wasn't bluffing. I had it. But, ooh, alright. We're both empty. Or the board's clear, is what I meant. Blue land? Ooh, Thalia is good. Do they have days? Maybe I should have played around days a little longer. Shit. That was bad. I just got excited. I should have just been porting them. That was so bad. I got impatient. Now if they like sneak a Delver in. Alright, so now I need a land to keep porting them. Get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, that didn't need to be in play. I could be drawing to a land and then Thalia to brick the Ragavan and all future Ragavans. Blue land? Ugh. Alright, I'll at least cast the Rest in Peace since I have it. But this Ragavan... Oh, the treasure tokens don't work because of their own Null Rod. So this is stealing cards and not producing mana. They exiled Scalding Tarn. I would have liked to draw that. Alright. Okay. That's a card. Does it do anything? It blocks Ragavan, but it doesn't really do anything tricky. It just basically just gets lightning bolted, gets dazed. But I guess blocking Ragavan is... I could do worse. I'm gonna exile their treasure, just in case Null Rod leaves the battlefield at some point. Okay, here we are. They didn't bolt in my end step. I will trade off real fast with this Rag. I think neither player doing anything favors me ultimately, but it's kind of close. I'm really worried about Delver right now. Like, Dragon Rage Channeler is a 1/1. Murktide Regent is a blank draw, but Delver is scary. Ragavan is also, like, pretty good. Also knowing that my Delver opponent has 6 spells in their hand because they haven't played a land in a few turns is pretty scary. I would like a basic island, please. This whole game was avoidable if I just played correctly with the Thalia and the port. No reason to put Aether Vial into play. Just porting them, hoping this Rag doesn't hit anything important. I guess I could have played Vial. Like, I'm not using that mana anyway, and it still ticks up. And if I, like, Flicker Wisp their Null Rod at some point, I could Vial something in. Yeah, I guess it doesn't hurt to have it in play. Yeah, that was not the best. Do I have any answers to Null Rod in the deck? Nope, just Flicker Wisp. Okay. Alright, their land was ported. I don't like them finding more lands. That's just more things they can do, more cantrips. Desperately need a basic island to play this game with. They exiled an island. So this Ragavan has hit me twice. It exiled island and Scalding Tarn. Okay. Sweet relief. Please don't stifle me. Alright, they didn't stifle. Island is here. Aether Vial? This is probably not the turn to Aether Vial, but I think it's okay. I hope they interact with it in some way. That would be great. Right, they did not. I guess holding up Spellstutter makes some sense. So I am worried about Delver and additional threats joining the board. Okay, I can let Rag hit me. Like, they can't take white cards. I don't care about lands. Oh no, Fairy Miscreant. Wait, if you control. Shit. Alright, so I mean, they can cast that card. And I'll Spellstutter it. Let's just have a fight here. Yeah, alright. Lightning Bolt, Red Blast. All the things you've been slow rolling this whole time. Here they come. Braid, sure. Alright, so they have their Miscreant. Come on, another island, please. Island. Another port's not quite what I wanted. But I will cast my Miscreant and port them off all their red in the beginning of the turn. Set a stop in their draw step just in case. Alright, so they have floated mana. We go to draw. That mana's gone. Now they don't get 2 mana spells. Alright, Lightning Bolt was pretty good. Okay, we're quickly falling behind here. This Null Rod has been crushing. They got a Mother of Runes that they can't cast. That's fine. What do I need to do to this board? I think Palace Jailer is the draw. I'm a little worried about it, because losing the Monarch is bad. Palace Jailer was good until they wasted me, I think. Another one. Alright, so let's just keep blocking. Keep putting things on the board. I'll tap another island, or another Volk. Yeah, the good news is I have not had to make any blocking decisions to try to string together like draws on Fairy Miscreant, because they're so incentivized to connect with Ragavan. So I am a Swords to Plowshares away from a stable board, though there's a good chance they have Force of Will. Alright, Vial's on 3 and probably going to stay there. Oh, Flicker Wisp, huh? Oh my god, there's a combo. Alright, please don't Force of Will this. Oh, that just resolved. Exile Miscreant, and I get to draw a card. Thanks for the Miscreant. Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm at 5 against Delver. They could just bolt me here, and the game ends anyway. Alright, Iteration. That was a pretty good Flicker Wisp. Alright, so they exiled Brainstorm and cast it with Iteration. They have so many cards in their hand. How many bolts have been cast this game? Chain Lightning, 1 bolt, 2 bolts. So there are probably exactly 2 bolts left in their deck. They just gotta find them. Remember that time I flickered that Fairy Miscreant? Holy shit. That was like Cruel Ultimatum. I'm gonna block. All 4 Miscreants are accounted for. I guess this is where I draw Soul Herder and wish I hadn't done that. Fetch land. Got their mountain. Is this the 4th Ragavan? 1, 2, 3, sure is. Alright, leave this. Always no to this Aether Vial. Okay, I mean, you do worse than controlling their mana at this point in the game. I am in the Shadow Realm if they have Forked Bolt or Blazing Volley. I'm not going to attack with Flicker Wisp until the board is 100% clear. I'm not willing to lose, just take a Ragavan hit to a single removal spell. I want them to have 2. I should have tapped my planes. Now I'm just not even bluffing Spellstutter here. In Swords to Plowshares to exile my own creature and gain some life would really pad this game up. Solitude is great here. I do have the 5 mana to do it. No! That's the thing I told you not to have. My opponent is not a team player. Alright, so I'm dead to 1 bolt now. I don't even get the 2 bolt breathing room. Stoneforge Mystic. Alright, time to draw Solitude. Soul Herder. I mean, that does block. Dead to Lightning Bolt. Dead to Pyroblast. Well, not dead to Pyroblast. I'm at 1 to Pyroblast, so I'm not going to fetch for that reason. This Null Rod completely carried the game. That's the type of potent sideboard card I'm always telling people that they should be playing. And I still stand by that. Alright, block here. Dead to Bolt. I'm not going to be dead to Forked Bolt also. Alright. Soul Herder got 2 triggers there. Count it. Yeah, they just have Lightning Bolt. Sure, whatever. Okay. That game was pretty interesting. The Blazing Volley, Blue-Red Delver decks adopting this has been pretty rough in this league so far. I've been able to beat it so far, but I've been seeing more and more of this card, and this is a really bad deck to have it against. Alright. That was pretty close, though. Null Rod carries the day. I'm on the draw with the most reasonable fair hand we've seen yet. I'm going to keep it. I'd really like an Aether Vial. But here we are. Surprise. Alright, Fairy Miscreant's in. Begin the beatdowns. And this hand is really good at controlling mana. Ooh, you played your Tundra? I'm gonna attack first, and then Wasteland them. I'm doing that because if they know Wasteland's coming, maybe they'll plow before combat. And I don't want I want to get my 1 damage in at least. Okay, Tundra is accounted for. I'm going to play the Rishadan port. That might disincentivize them from cracking their fetches. And then I get to... Like, the fact that they have fetch lands and not just normal lands in play means I get to mask this Spellstutter Sprite for a turn. Because if I just don't port them in their upkeep, I'm obviously representing something. Alright, let's start challenging these fetch lands. Alright, basics are there. I figured this deck would have a lot of basics in it. In with Miscreant. I'm not going to play Thalia until I can protect her with Spellstutter. I'm not going to port them. See what they got. If they play Jace right now, I deserve to lose. Alright, they're fetching Plains and Island and Forest. God, I'm such an asshole. I deserve that. Alright, so if whatever they do with Jace, I'm gonna flash in Spellstutter. Like, yeah, I got a little married to Spellstutter Sprite there, not gonna lie. Okay, so they plussed with Jace. Maybe I don't flash in Spellstutter in that case. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Thalia with the Spellstutter Sprite back up. Thalia's in play. Attack Jace. Let's get to work now that I have this mess to clean up. Right, Jace is at 4. You're up. Oh god, they stopped in their draw step. I'm getting Terminused. I guess if I had ported Plains in their upkeep, this wouldn't have happened. Wow, what a beating. Okay. Actual Factual Miracles is good against my Fairy deck. Who would have thought? This is going to be a hard one to come back from, but I think we can do it. Yeah, I was just like so focused on protecting Thalia from Plow that I just didn't even consider Terminus as a thing. But now it's on my radar. Wow, that's worth a Force of Will. Get out of here. Force pitching Hull Breacher. Alright. Abundant Growth. Good card. So here goes the Ponder. This is not going quite to plan, clearly. If I can get 7 mana and cast this Cauldron, we might be doing something. This is where not being a Brainstorm deck is really coming to bite me. Good news here, though, is I have a very easy target for Rishadan port every turn for the rest of the game. I don't even have to think about it. Just hit the Plains. Uro. I'm just going to plow the front half of this. Let's get out of here before they draw the card, before they do anything. Alright, that's gone. I mean, that's a really good deal for them. But I'm still going to do it. And I'm going to crack this fetch because there's lands in my deck that I don't want to draw. They could have back to basics, but that's fine. I have enough mana. I'll figure it out. Jeez. Okay. I need Cauldron to resolve and just branch this Jace. That's basically my only plan to win this game. If they have Swords to Plowshares or any counterspell of any kind, my plan's not going to work. But I am untapping into 7 mana next turn. This is the matchup for Winter Orb. About time we played against one of these, but we do need to draw it. It's a shame. I think that the Game 1 Winter Orb, this was its time to shine, and it hasn't shown up. Snapcaster Mage. Alright, yeah, they can target Ponder and get more selection here. They are off white mana currently. And Snapcaster Mage does not absorb enough damage to save Jace from Cauldron. So they need a counterspell. I guess if they also have Ice Fang Coatl, they can absorb 2 damage. They shuffled that Ponder. They did not shuffle that Ponder, and now here's Jace. Yeah, if the 9 cards they're currently looking at contain Force of Will or Negation, this game is over. Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe I lead on that. Alright, Stoneforge Mystic. Let's put them to the test. This at least gives me a second, like, kind of option. So I can just hardcast the sword now and try to equip it so they can't bounce with Jace. And if they spend a Force of Will on this, then that's 1 less force they have for Cauldron. Alright, so they did have Force of Negation, which means that I'm going to port them. Okay. Jace is a hell of a card. And if they think they just answered my weapon that I got with Stoneforge Mystic, and they let Stoneforge stick around, nope, no chance. Not gonna fall for it. Yeah, when you have Jace active, you just don't need to respect the normal rules of card advantage or like anything. You just get to go completely nuts all the time. Alright, Uro. This one should shut it down. Jace is brainstorming. Gonna take my 2 from Snapcaster. And it's my turn, and all in, baby. Let's go. No force, no plow. 4 cards in hand or nothing. Just complete bricks. You got nothing. Here I come. Deck Jace. Oh my god. They actually had nothing. Wow. Wow. So you're saying there's a chance. You know, I still have to beat this Uro, but I think that's easier than Jace. Cauldron can exile Uro at least. Alright, Terminus will flip. Alright, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I draw a land, I can Thalia plus equip it with Cauldron right away. Yeah, Uro's back, of course. Swords of Plowshares might do something to stabilize this game. I don't know. I'm still miles behind, obviously, but like, I'm much closer to being in this game than I thought I was a turn ago. That Jace being gone is just a huge deal. Alright, so I'm gonna fetch and cast Thalia. And then equip. Let's go. Still in trouble to a Swords to Plowshares. But this was much better than it had any right to be. Haste, Indestructible Trample. Vigilance is not one of the words on this card. And I do need to block and exile this Uro. Prismatic Ending on my Thalia. That's pretty good. Okay, so it's now Cauldron versus Uro. Any 2 or less mana creature I draw can pick up the Cauldron. A Flicker Wisp can reset Uro. Swords to Plowshares removes Uro. I actually think if I can get this Uro out of play... Oh, Caracas would be great. I'm not going to show them the Winter Orb. No, I guess I just pass the turn here. At this point, wasting them doesn't really matter. I can port them, though. I think having access to my mana, the ability to equip a 2-drop, is more important than basically anything else that's going on right now. I guess drawing Caracas is actually the most important thing, because that's a removal for Uro that they can't interact with. Ice Fang Coatl. Alright, well, that will kill me pretty quickly. Sylvan Library, you got it. And let's go to my turn and draw Caracas. Mother of Runes. Not quite what I was looking for. She can pick up the weapon, though. Alright, I'm gonna waste this untapped Tropical Island, just in case. And then... Mom. Pick it up. No Swords to Plowshares, maybe? They had the plow. Yeah, fine. Alright. It's funny because the Cauldron Complete gives haste. So the mom would have been able to tap to protect herself. I mean, if she taps, I'm still dead to this Uro. Yeah, that was a beating. I did not... I committed in my head to Spellstutter Sprite being better than Rishadenport, and then ended up losing to Jace for it. So I'm going to make a different decision this game, and I never did have to show them the Winter Orb. So I don't rest in peace. Uro is going to be part of their plan. I like Pithing Needle, naming their Planeswalkers. Palace Jailer is a little dangerous because they have Ice Fang Coatls, but I have a lot of flying blockers, and Jailer is pretty good in general against these blue decks. So what 6 cards do I want to cut? Mother of Runes is good. Solitude being a creature is what's valuable here. Not that I need more Swords to Plowshares for the matchup, just that I need literal creatures in play. Speaking of Swords to Plowshares, I think I want fewer of them. The Cloud of Faeries I can shave on. Thalia, they have so many lands. I don't know that she's really part of the plan. Umezawa's Jitte is the worst of the weapons. Oh no, I like the rest of the deck. Is Soul Herder better than... What is Soul Herder better than? Right, maybe I'll shave another plow. I am getting pretty low on plows here for someone who ostensibly wants to become the monarch. So that's some risky business. Maybe Soul Herder is the last card here. In Mother of Runes, getting swept up by Terminus sucks, but Mother of Runes beating Prismatic, Ending, and Swords to Plowshares is good. So there's some tension there. Do I need both Rest in Peace, or do I just need one to find later? Alright, I'm gonna bring one Rest in Peace in. Hopefully by the time Uro matters, I'll have it. That might be terrible, terrible logic, but I'm committed to it. We have the orb. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Okay, so I have to fetch Tundra with this to cast my spells. Let's go Vial. Resolves. Nice, it's in there. Okay, so it's Winter Orb time. Winter is coming. They have an abundant growth. And I guess if you only get one land a turn, it's nice that it taps for every color. Ooh, that second Aether Vial is nice. I'm gonna get it in while I can. They only have one land on tap anyway. What's the rush on Winter Orb? And I think I want to wait a turn on the Mom. Because it depends on what they do this turn. Prismatic Ending. Alright, I guess I'm not waiting a turn on the Mom. Because if I waited a turn and ticked up both Vials, I could Vial in Mom and then Vial in Spellstutter if they try to kill her. Right, that doesn't cast Swords to Plowshares, so we're going to get along just fine. Okay, they shuffled their Ponder. Ooh, that's a good one. Alright, let's live in this world. Can you beat a Winter Orb? Gonna feel really good when this Vial's on too. I'm not ready for Mother of Runes beatdowns. That's not happening just yet. And these two Wastelands, I mean, while they do play a million basics, I think we saw like 5 or 6 last game. This does put them under real pressure of they have to keep finding the basics if they want to keep playing the game. Like any non-basic they put into play is just gone. Ooh, nice. That's why you only play one, because you're going to draw it. Guaranteed. Alright, so that turns off the Snapcasters and the Uros, at least. Then I'm going to try to work my way up to... I'm going to Vial in the Palace Jailer. And by then I should have enough untapped lands to cast Spellstutter Sprite. Alright, they have a third land. Something like Teferi is probably reasonable here, but does that even matter? Blood Sun. Interesting. That's a cool card. It resolves. Yeah, so lands lose abilities except mana abilities. So that's going to turn off their fetch lands a lot harder than it's going to turn off my Wastelands, I think. I am going to tick up to 3 here. And just, oh wow, I'm going to go up to 3 and then up to 5. Or up to 4, then up to 5. This is wild. Icefang Quaddle is terrifying. If they spend any mana on their own turn, though, I don't have to worry about Quaddle so much. Nice. Alright. They snuck their Ponder in through my Spellstutter Sprite. They found the crack in my wall. My mighty wall. Important to note, though, I don't know what I was about to say. Literally, the thought left my head. Exile target creature and opponent controls. Alright, here we go. This is just coming in. Yes, it's time to become the Monarch. Let's draw some extra cards. And having Solitude next turn to protect my Monarchy is pretty insane. Oh, bummer. I don't have 4 mana. That's for sure. Or 4 Faeries. I just have 1. Okay, you got me. Glad I got to keep my Aether Vial, though. Blood Sun's really cool. I haven't seen Blood Sun in a control deck before, and it's working out. Jace. Yeah, you got it. I can attack that. So they're in Brainstorm mode. They're trying to race the Jailer, the Monarch. We're both drawing an extra card every turn, but one of their extra cards is a Brainstorm, which is way better than just drawing a card, obviously.
Right, abundant growth on the fetch land. That makes sense because the fetch land doesn't do anything else under their Blood Sun. That's cool technology. Alright, so I'm going to take Vial up to 5 and just have my Solitude. This fetch land also doesn't do anything. I am going to kill Jace, though. Gotta do that. If they have Swords to Plowshares, I have Spellstutter. The Flicker Wisp is a little awkward here, but we'll be alright. Figure it out. Flicker Wisp is no longer awkward. So Mom is tapped right now. The shields are down if they want to do something. But I don't think they have any haste creatures. And this Vial on 5 is doing serious work against the Ice Fang Coatl. I'm still just sitting on the Spellstutter Sprite for a removal spell or just something better. They've drawn so many cards, I don't think that like spriting one Brainstorm is going to change the math. They need to answer this Palace Jailer before I'm even worried. We have a million different answers to Uro. Mystic Sanctuary doesn't do anything. Pyroclasm. Yeah, I mean, that's good. You got me. They're out. Their deck is so cool. Alright, I'm still the Monarch. Alright, this Vial is definitely just a always no at this point. I don't have any 6s. Oh, the second Solitude. So I could flicker Blood Sun and waste 2 lands. I'm not sure if that's going to be better than... Like, what else am I doing here? I mean, they get to draw a card off the Blood Sun. That also unlocks one of my lands. Yeah, I think that's fine. If this gets a Force of Will, that's neat. Why did I tap a Wasteland? I needed to... Oh, because I was leaving up Spellstutter Sprite, which doesn't even make sense. Yeah, my chance to waste 2 of their lands just went away. I'll take this Volcanic Island out of play, though. Okay. That could have been played better. It's true. So they get to draw a card off Blood Sun. I think they're going to have a hard time winning this game, though. I mean, Jace is in the graveyard. And I have Vial on 5 with 2 Solitudes for the Uros, the inevitable Uros. And I have a clock in play now, which was not true a turn ago. They did not shuffle Ponder. Oh, they have a second Jace. Cool. Alright, Jace is in. It's going to have to bounce or answer Flicker Wisp, because Wisp just attacks for 3, or they can plus Jace and try to tempo me out over multiple turns. Or, like, absorb life, basically. Alright, so they are plussing on me. I could Vial in a Solitude and attack Jace. They have 2 cards in their hand. Alright, here's Solitude. I am not going to target any creatures. So it's just a 3/2. I'm protected from Swords to Plowshares. I have the Sprite. Alright, here we go. Plow. Do they have 2 things? Alright, Spellstutter Sprite for the win. Let's take out Jace. Do they have another one? Okay, no, they did not have another one. Jace is gone. Aether Vial, get in there. And we're drawing more cards. Alright, alright, alright. Terminus is a beating. But I still have Solitude for their next creature. There's a good chance I could just deck them at this point. 2 Jaces are gone. Uro. I have Uro answered in a big way. That fetch land has no abilities. So this Aether Vial, put a counter on it. This Aether Vial gets none. Ah, a mother. I'm gonna attack with my 6 power creatures. Attacking with Spellstutter Sprite doesn't change the clock, but it does expose me to Ice Fang Coatl. Like, Ice Fang Coatl... Like, now they need Coatl plus removal spell to steal the Monarch. Hull Breacher. That resolves. Here we go. Another one. Alright, yeah, Hull Breacher is pretty good against the Monarch. And I did see that in game number 1, so that shouldn't have been a surprise. They pitched it to a force in game 1. Wow, scooped it up. We did it. The Solitudes are too good. Vial on 5. Okay, that Rest in Peace was solid in that it absorbed a Force of Vigor. Um, they're not going to expect Force of Will out of me. I normally don't want to go this route in fair decks. Like, normally I'm boarding out Force against fair decks. But if they're just assuming all their spells are going to resolve, it could be good to have them. But what do I cut is the question. Like, am I just off Thalia entirely? Like, I mean, Thalia is good, but also, I don't know, like having that Death and Taxes draw is pretty cool. Maybe I don't need all the mothers. And they showed me Pyroclasm and Terminus in this match so far. Both of those are things I would want to hit with Force of Will, though. Alright, so maybe Mom is less good. And the Rest in Peace was awfully good, in fact. This is a really hard sideboard. Like, I kind of want the second Rest in Peace in. I kind of want 2 Forces in also. Maybe I go down to 1 Cloud of Faeries. So I have the combo can pop off, I guess. Soul Herder does generally require me to have a second creature in play to be doing anything. Soul Herder can reset Palace Jailer if I lose the Monarchy too. That's pretty good. Oh. Alright, this is what I'm doing. It's kind of a mess, but I like it. Alright, so a Thalia, Force of Will, Winter Orb, Rest in Peace hand. We're a prison deck now. If I draw a basic island and can get this Miscreant into play, I'm going to be pretty happy. But I'm also not mad about it being my blue card for Force. Ooh, that was a good draw on turn 1. Make 'em have it. Alright, looks like I'm untapping with Mother. So, if I play Thalia, then I can't Force of Will. So I'm gonna get Rip in right now. Let's just get that out of the way. This is the game we're playing. Get used to it. Alright, so Rest in Peace is in play. Not attacking with Mom. Since I just turned their Snapcaster Mage into an Ambush Viper, I don't want to give them anything to ambush. Alright, passing the turn. Rishadan Port's pretty good. Thalia is like Rishadan Port for everything. And if I can protect her with Mom, that's pretty cool. They're definitely not going to expect Force of Will out of me. But they could have a Coatl. That's fine. That's not a Force of Will. I have Fairy Miscreant that can tangle with that if it needs to. And Thalia can just punch through it. I will Force of Will a Jace. Oh, they can't play Jace because I have Thalia. That's right. That's how that works. Right. Continuing to draw lands is nice. Getting the fetch lands in before they find the Blood Sun is also pretty cool. Thalia's first strike, fearlessly punching through Death Touch creatures. I'm just gonna get my basic island. I really don't want to get got by Back to Basics. Another one. Ooh, they drew Terminus. That's interesting. Oh, I had not considered that as a possibility. Is this what I want to Force of Will? Huh. Yeah. Force is in the deck for a reason. Bang. I'm gonna tap the white going into their turn, because that's what all their removal is. The old Game 3 first appearance of Force of Will. Not bad. Port keeps them off Jace for another turn. Might as well attack, because you're not going to block. It's just good magic. Fundamentals. Thalia go. If they... I think porting them continues to just be my best play. Let's take them off white. We've seen Prismatic Ending, we've seen Terminus, we've seen Swords to Plowshares. Little 2-mana Ponder here. I'm winning the race right now. They did not shuffle. Okay. So here comes the Coatls. And a land would be pretty great. If I can jam Winter Orb, and then also... Ooh, that's even better. Yeah, I'm gonna waste this land. Now I don't even need to Winter Orb. Floating red, you got it. Yeah, I didn't think they had any red instants in this deck. I mean, maybe Pyroblast, but I don't have any blue cards I'm going to cast right now. Wonder how much work this Mother of Runes is really doing. I imagine it's a lot. They have another land. They can fetch and cast Jace here. Yep, there's Jace. Tried so hard to keep him out of play. Didn't work. But now I get to Winter Orb with Reckless Impunity. They've already used their land drop for the turn, so I know they can't force my orb. And then they're going to have to play under this Thalia forever. Alright, so attack Jace. Does Stoneforge Mystic change everything? I don't think so. I think that getting Winter Orb in when I know it's a lock is going to be better. It's interesting they didn't attack with the Quaddles. Like, they didn't block. I don't know if my mic's picking it up, but it is a raging thunderstorm in my world right now. Just if you hear background noise, that's what's happening. Carpet of Flowers. Not that one. Yeah, Carpet's really good. That plays around the Winter Orb extremely well. Or at least, well enough. We might be in a waste my own Tundra if I draw a Wasteland situation. So I think that this Stoneforge Mystic is gonna get busy here. I'm tapping my lands, so I'm not, like, super worried about which one I untap, because I'm gonna use them right away. I don't think that I want to play this Tundra. Not yet, anyway. Let's get Cauldron to play. So next turn I can untap one land, play the Tundra with the other, and that's the Cauldron. And it has protection from everything with Mom. They chose to untap green. Interesting. Wonder if that's... What is that representing? Anything? I feel like untapping white. No, I guess it doesn't matter, because Carpet can make whatever color you want, and you can't Terminus anyway because of Thalia. Alright. Yeah, this game is really interesting. Win or lose, this was a great match. They're making white. Bouncing Mother of Runes. Oh, that's smart. So they can plow Stoneforge Mystic, but they can do that as an instant, so I'm just going to keep Mom in play. They can't cast two plows, or they can plow Thalia then something else. Alright, that works. Yep. Oh, but they use their white and not their green. I wonder if that was a misclick, or if that was on purpose. Ouch. I feel like that was not what they wanted to do. Yeah, they just said oops. So that was not what they wanted to do. I did that in a video a couple days ago with a Scavenging Ooze. I don't know if Magic Online made an update that changed how floating mana works, or if it's always worked that way and we're just confused. Okay, sweet. I get to play around the Carpet a little more. And Cauldron can sweep up the Jace. And here we go. Yeah, Ice Fang Quaddle can't absorb enough damage. And I think that should do it. I mean, their deck's powerful. Maybe they just Terminus here and we're back to 0. But clearing Jace is a big deal. Okay, okay. And I can pitch cast Solitude if somehow that matters. I don't know how or why it would, but it's possible. So I do have a Wasteland. If I want to do the waste my own Tundra thing to take them to hurt their Carpet, I can, but that seems like not a good play. Alright. Sure, those are gone. Alright. Now I definitely am not going to waste my own Tundra. Okay, so what happens now? I play Tundra. I guess they still have Carpet. It's not like the Carpet left play. Solitude is still a line. I can beat up their Tropical Island at least. Then I can attack with Stoneforge Mystic and Cauldron. I'm just trying to push damage. This does take a turn off the clock if the Stoneforge gets in. And this Quaddle being out of play is valuable to me. I'm not going to waste my Mother of Runes activation on this, though. Like, I'm just going to take the trade. Opponent's at 6. I can port the Forest. Now, Carpet gives them 3 green, which is not enough to front and back an Uro. They have to find another green source to do that, which is like a reasonable thing for them to do. But I do have Solitude and 2 Flickerwisps to keep Uro at bay for at least a little while. Oh wait, they only needed 3 because the front only cost 1. But the Magic Online just did the thing again where it used floating mana. Yeah, I think they needed to tap their planes to get the... Okay, no, they had a green source. All right. Now I don't feel so bad. I'll take 1, but if that happens twice in the same match, I'm gonna feel a little guilty. They do need 2 more cards in the graveyard before Uro pops too. Prismatic Ending. I mean, she's gonna target herself. I'm sure they have a plan here. Okay, yeah. I have Flicker Wisps for that. Pro White. So that's fine. Uro is looming. Okay, Flicker Wisp, let's go. Flicker the Cauldra. That puts a new creature on it. And I think that Stone Forging will do more for me than porting them at this stage of the game. Grab a Sword of Fire and Ice. And Caudra's back. Fresh Germ. I've been sitting on these Flicker Wisps forever with that play partially in mind. We're also up 40 seconds on the clock, which this game might come down to. I think if they get control of this game, the clock is going to matter, but if they don't, I'm in pretty good shape. Crack the fetch land. I guess they're playing to Snapcaster Mage. Just they want the fetch land in the graveyard. Also, that thins a land out of the deck to maximize spells drawn. And I hope this match doesn't come down to clock. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope it reaches its natural conclusion. Alright, that's interesting. They left Icefang Coatl in the graveyard when their deck does have Snapcaster Mage in it, unless they boarded it out because they saw Rest in Peace in game 2. Like, they could have left Prismatic Ending in the graveyard, but I guess that doesn't matter either because I have the, whatever this is called, Mother of Runes. Oh, that's something. Here we go. I'm just going in. If you have Force of Will, you have Force of Will. Yeah. Swing for the fences. Wow, we're in there. Exile Uro. Bang, bang. I'm going to attack with Stoneforge Mystic and this. I'm going to leave back Flicker Wisp. I'm not losing my thing to a Coatl. My Monarchy. Alright, so I have Caracas now if they find another Uro, but they're going to have a hard time getting into play with only 3 cards in their hand. There was not a stop in their draw step, though they could hard cast Terminus pretty easily. Brainstorm, sure. Terminus is the card that they want, and they can definitely hard cast it. I have Solitude that can mop up a Coatl at instant speed. Like if they hard cast Terminus and then flashing Coatl in the end step, that's a line that gets them out of this game. But I can Flicker Wisp my Cauldra again to reset it. And I have Sword of Fire and Ice looming this turn as well. They just crossed into the red zone on their clock. Under 5 minutes left. Pyroclasm. Right, I'm going to give Flicker Wisp Pro Red. I think that's the best creature I can keep in play right now. It hits for the most. It's lethal with Sword of Fire and Ice. It blocks Icefang Coatl. All of those are things I'm interested in. This is the last card in their hand. It's Narset. Alright, so I'm going to have perfect information to work with here. Alright, what do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's Terminus, they actually can win. Or at least stabilize for a turn. Narset turns off the Monarch as well. Alright, another Brainstorm. So they can't Brainstorm into Terminus. Yeah, they have to pass the turn and Brainstorm into Terminus on my turn. That's the play here. Icefang Coatl doesn't save them because of Caldra's Trample. So I'm just going to attack my opponent with all of my things. And if they flip Terminus, good job. If they did not flip Terminus, oh, They're looking again. They could still find Swords to Plowshares here, I guess. Are we in? Did we do it? Did you find the plow? Oh, the third brainstorm. Storm is 3. And we did it. We got in there. A misclick or a misuse of MTGO interface may have played a significant role in that matchup, but that was still an awesome match either way. Awesome games. And on to the final round we go. I'm on the play with my favorite hand I've seen yet today. We can draw a card with Fairy Miscreant on turn 2. Which is all I've ever wanted to do in the entire world. Okay, so I'm going to go for my Plains Aether Vial line. Aether Vial resolved. That's good news. Please don't combo me out. Please let me get to my fairies. Ooh, a City of Traders. Oh no, are we against Red Prison? Did I miss my chance to fetch blue? Alright, they pitched Rabble Master. Oh, Chandra. That's pretty powerful. Okay, I mean, this is the type of game we can lose. I respect it. Yeah, that was a powerful turn 1. I'm glad we're on the play at least. Let's see if Aether Vial can beat all these things they've done. Alright, so if I cast Thalia, they zap it with Chandra, and I mean, at least that takes some counters off of Chandra. Like, she doesn't get to just run amok over there. And even through the Chalice, I can Violin a Fairy in the end step, then Violin another one in the upkeep, and before I tick up Vial. So, we're still playing this game. Stoneforge Mystic tends to beat these kind of decks just by itself. And Chandra is the thing that can change the math on that. But, we'll see. Blood Moon, okay. I got that one covered. They're down to 1 card in hand. That's good. So the Miscreants can get rowdy on Chandra over the next 2 turns. All right, Miscreants in. Upkeep. Activate Vial. Oh yeah, we're going off. We're comboing out. There's Flicker Wisp. I like that one. Will be good eventually. Alright, and attack Chandra for 1. Alright, I think if I can get this Chandra out of play, we're in good shape. Can't cast Mom. They do have the Chalice, unfortunately. Chandra is dead to these Miscreants next turn, if they can't remove them. No Fiery Confluence. I probably lose to Fiery Confluence. If they can deal 1 to all creatures, destroy target artifact, I'm dead. Alright, Rabble Master. You can beat that. Maybe. And Flicker Wisp does a ton of work against that. I can just blink the goblin, or blink the token, trade with the Rabble Master, and then I just have to beat a goblin token. A Stoneforge Mystic, I think, is my best draw, though. Put a counter on Vial. Stoneforge Mystic. Island is not the most exciting, but at least Chandra's off the board. Their insane turn 1 has been effectively mitigated. And then I can blink 1 of the goblin tokens, block the Rabble Master. Then I just have to deal with a goblin token, which I am winning the race against currently. Alright, they don't seem to have a follow-up that I care about. Alright, maybe Rabble Master doesn't attack into the Vial on 3. I really, really, really want to draw Soul Herder. Can I just tell you how much I want to draw Soul Herder and go off with my Fairy Miscreants? Okay, I'm not going to blink 1 of these tokens. I think I'm going to blink Chalice of the Void. Oh, I could have blinked Miscreant also. Alright, put in a Wisp. Blink Chalice. I want to unlock my 1s. Let's get this Mother of Runes in play. That does all kinds of work. Maybe I should have just main phased that. I wasn't planning ahead the way I should have there. Like, if I main phase that, play Mom, I have Mom in play this turn. Alright, so my Miscreants are going to keep crunching. I'm not ready to block with them. I still have hopes to draw Soul Herder someday. Alright, Chalice is in. They can't play Chrome Moxen anymore. I don't have any zeros, they do. If I can untap with this Mother of Runes, I'm going to feel pretty good. If they sweep me this turn, I'm going to feel pretty bad. I think Rabble Master kind of has to attack this turn, or else it never will. Maybe it never will anyway, and they'll just let the goblins flood through. And alright, Rabble Master is making an attack this turn. So I will block the Rabble Daddy. I'm not actually sure about that play. Like, if they just leave Rabble Daddy in play, then they get to sneak past with multiple tokens every turn and just keep generating them. Now I just need to get control of the ones that currently exist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so Aether Vial's out of the picture here. If they wish for anything with Karn, I get to kill it. Alright, they just plussed. That makes sense. So Soul Herder's still my favorite draw. Vial can stay on 3. Not that it matters. Always no. Soul Herder? Didn't need that. I think I need to keep pressure on Karn. So attack Karn. And I can play the second Mother. Feels bad using Mother as a beatdown tool, but it's the play I've been given. I'm playing the second Vial because if I am able to remove Karn from play at any point, they'll be back on, and they're pretty important to this match. This Karn beatdown line doesn't exist if they don't attack with Rabble Master. Yeah, having a 2/2 back on defense. Oh, okay. No, never mind. Attacking with the Rabble Master, getting the block out of Flicker Wisp protected the Karn by removing Flicker Wisp. Okay. Now I see what they were doing last turn. I get it. Alright, they have made their wish with Karn. So Walking Ballista can clear my Faeries. Yeah, that is what they did. That's really good. Yeah, these 3 Goblin tokens also just hold the board against the Moms. Actually, I can still kill Karn. I will either have a flying attacker or a Mother of Runes with protection from red to attack through the goblins. Unless they just wait. Okay, yeah, they can wait. And I give Mom Pro red. I attack, they block, ping the 2 flyers. Okay, yeah. Let's hope they get impatient. I don't know. I'll give them this attack, though. Still looking for Stoneforge Mystic. That's my best draw. Always will be. At Grand Prix Niagara Falls, I beat a mono red player when the only spell I cast in our game 3. Haha, I got him. The only spell I cast in our game 3 was Stoneforge Mystic. Just put it into play. Got Batterskull. Put Batterskull into play. I naturally drew a Jitte. Put in the Jitte, equipped it to the Batterskull, and just ranched. Never cast a spell. Right, yes, put a counter on this. Let's draw Fairy Miscreant. Wasteland. That's not really what I want. I guess I have to make this Karn attack. Damn. Right, attack Karn, attack Karn. Well, I'll at least cost them their Ballista. Unless they just want to sit Ballista in play and machine gun my whole board next turn and forget about Karn. Just ignore Karn, doesn't matter. I hope they're scared of my Aether Vials. I guess that's the reason they would ping off the Miscreants now. Okay, they're going for it. Protection from the color of your choice. This is unfortunately a colorless card. And I'm gonna play my Wasteland because at some point I will have 7 lands in play and Cauldron will be complete. Just gotta hope I'm still alive at that point. Trinisphere, yeah, that doesn't change anything. Alright, that gives them a 3/3 blocker. That's actually huge. Alright. So Karn is pretty safe from attack until I find the Cauldron. Then he's gone. But I can safely absorb goblin attacks for a while. The mothers will hold that off. Alright, 2 points on that one. See, keep 3 on this one. Alright, I'm in the spot at this point where lands and spells are both good draws. I really hope to complete Cauldron and ram this Karn. Like Fiery Confluence, destroys Aether Vials, but it only kills their goblins without killing any of my stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, second 3-ball. They're a mana short of Mycosynth Lattice. So let's draw a land right now. Come on deck. Hardcast Cauldron. We started from the bottom, now we're here. I'm gonna leave the vials on 2 and 3. Land? Oh yeah. It's go time. 7 mana spell on the stack. Karn, here I come. And they can't save Karn because even if they block with everything, I can... Oh, I would have to give it pro red first. Yeah, okay. So, pro red. I don't want them absorbing trample damage with the goblins. I want this Karn answered. Here we go. That Karn, the Great Creator. So they're gonna absorb 3 damage with their trample, with their 3-ball. So they can plus Karn on Cauldron Complete, which knocks the equipment off the germ, but I do get 1 turn worth of attacking with a 7/7, and that should be enough to kill Karn, which lets me re-equip Cauldron once Karn's out of play. So then I'll have a Mother of Runes who is complete. Till your next turn. Okay, so they're gonna jump up with 3-ball again. But now I have enough trample to kill the Karn. This game ended up being much better than I thought it was going to be. No attacks, so they're not even bluffing a spell in their hand right now. I really hope that their hand is just Chrome Mox and flickering that Chalice of the Void was lights out. Alright, I have enough lands now. I can stop drawing them. But I'm not going to complain. I have Cauldron in play. And I want Karn gone. I don't want them to have any choices to make. I want them to draw their card for the turn, determine if it answers Cauldron, and if the answer is no, I want them to die. So, no Planeswalker activations, not interested, get out. I guess their card in hand could be Karn. Like, it's got to be Karn or Chrome Mox. Those are like the only cards that make any sense to be in their hand right now. Like, anything else they would have played. Oh, they have 2 cards in hand. I guess they did get a draw step. So, I'm not going to play this card in my hand. I'm going to threaten something with the Aether Vial, at least. Okay, now Cauldron can complete their life total. Aether Vials are on. Stoneforge Mystic, still a great draw. Okay, they did have a second Karn. Here it is. Let's see what they want to do with this one. We're just going to tread water against Trinisphere again? Or with Trinisphere again? Or are they going to wish for, like, Ensnaring Bridge and try to make a 2-turn play? Alright, they are making a wish. I'm not super worried about Ensnaring Bridge. My deck does have 1 Flicker Wisp left in it. I just have to plan an Alpha Strike for that turn. And I'm pretty sure I want to pro red to make sure Karn dies this turn. Well, I have to because they're going to bridge on the following turn. And then if Karn gets to just exist with impunity, then I'm going to lose that game for sure. Spellstutter Sprite. Not quite what I'm looking for at this stage of the game. Maybe if I still had those miscreants around. Okay, so here they come. Attack Karn. Spellstutter Sprite can attack under Ensnaring Bridge, though. So I'm interested in that. That is an angle I can approach from. They're only at 18. Gotta win this game somehow. Oh, Chandra. Okay, interesting. There she is. Oh yeah, that's why. Because they can make the mana. And there's Ensnaring Bridge. They do still have 2 cards in their hand, though. Yeah, Chandra was a really good draw there. So I can pressure Chandra. There's Spellstutter Sprite. And now I need to draw some good cards. And Sword of Fire and Ice doesn't do anything. Umezawa's Jitte is probably pretty good. Stoneforge Mystic. About time you shut up. Okay, so if I... Alright, there is a multi-turn line here. So I'm going to Vial in Stoneforge. Get the Jitte. Jitte can let me attack with Stoneforge Mystic. Because it's a 1-2, I can -1 Jitte, make it a 0-1, attack, pump with Jitte, and attack for 2 a turn, even through Ensnaring Bridge for 0. With 0 cards in hand. Alright, Trinisphere is still in play. Here's Jitte. Good thing Karn's gone. I should leave my white mana available. Just in case. So, I want to attack Chandra, Torch of Defiance. And I'm pretty sure I want to leave up my both Mother of Runes. Okay. Jitte can beat Chandra in the way that I described. Alright, let's go. They've also been sitting with these 2 cards in their hand for a long time, so either they're not good, they're not useful, or they can't cast them. Like, with Bridge, they would have been at least making land drops, I think. This Karn is a terrifying... Like, if they have Karn number 3, that's really bad. They're approaching 10 minutes on their clock. It's possible that Mono Red Prison just times out in game 1. That would be my favorite possible result. And obviously I'd rather win fair and square, but Mono Red Prison timing out in game 1 is one of the funnier things that I can imagine happening. Alright, so they're doing the draw extra cards mode. Bone Crusher Giant. If they want to stomp anything, they have to stomp my face because Mother of Runes... Okay. They just took the 2 damage the old-fashioned way with Chandra. Guess they could just burn me out with Fiery Confluence, or they could try. Oh, Confluence destroying Jitte does blow up my whole spot here. Stomp targeting my face. Okay. They are going for the burn plan. Still can't cast this card. Their own Trinisphere causing problems for them here. Okay, looks like we're passing the turn. 2 cards in hand. Alright, so I can kill Chandra this turn with the Jitte. That's a relief. They didn't get Hellbent, so I don't need to do any fancy tricks. Alright, so I'm gonna attack Chandra and attack my opponent. I can give the Stoneforge Mystic Pro Red to start chewing through goblins here. Alright, +2/+2. And +2/+2. Alright, Chandra's dead. Long live Chandra. I guess I should play this Aether Vial. Not doing anything in my hand. I can have a Vial on 1, 2, and 3. They paused in their draw step. Do they play Reforge the Soul? Or Bonfire of the Damned? What's about to happen to me? Oh, okay. That was weird. They just had a pause in their draw step, then started tapping mana. I was pretty scared. That doesn't matter. And it's a card out of their hand. It matters that much. Still no attacks. Not even close. Flicker Wisp is not a lethal attack yet. Chalice on 1, 2, and 3. I have the full trifecta here. Soul Herder. That just grows a lot. It does tutor up the Sword of Fire and Ice, which is not irrelevant. Alright, this Spellstutter Sprite is on win the game duty. I'm just going in for 5s every turn. Just get the damage in. And then I should vial this in. Why use mana if I don't have to? There's Soul Herder. I'm gonna blink Stoneforge Mystic. I can only blink my creatures, unfortunately. Can't just remove all their tokens. That would be too easy. Alright, so I get the Sword of Fire and Ice, which does threaten some action. Ooh, I can actually... If they have 2 cards in their hand, I can equip Sword of Fire and Ice to the Fairy, -1 Jitte, so it's a 2/2. Attack under and get all the triggers. Yeah, there's tricks here. There's tricks to be done. Alright, they scooped it up. 8.5 minutes left on their clock. That was the longest Red Prison game 1 I've ever seen. Alright, Force of Will, that's basically... This is the matchup it's for. Alice Jailer's insane here. Solitude is really good. Pithing Needle, naming Karn or Chandra seems like a big deal. I don't want Winter Orb against the Prison deck. Winter Orb was phenomenal in the one matchup where it was actually for, and I will count that as a win. The weapons are all good, because Stoneforge Mystic is just the best card. Thalia is kind of a Prison element of my own against this deck that's already trying to be Prison elements, but like Chandra costing 5 is a lot different than like playing through a 3-ball. Right, I'm gonna get a little skinnier on Aether Vial because they showed me Karns, which just shut down the Vial, obviously, and I don't want to be super exposed to that. Also, they have Chalice to the Void. They have Trinisphere. Like they have a lot of ways that to make that very bad. And my deck is not well set up to answer basically any permanent that's in play. Um, like Red Prison on the play is actually kind of terrifying for me right now. Like it's Force of Will or bust. Soul Herder does seem really good. Maybe it's the worst card though. Though Soul Herder machine gunning Flicker Wisp is a thing that might affect the game in a dramatic way. Thalia's First Strike matters a lot. Spellstutter Sprite really doesn't do anything. I guess if it gets up to 3, it does do stuff. This is another tough sideboard decision. I guess Cloud of Faeries is probably the cut. It's just the worst card, and with the Winter Orb out, not even comboing out. Alright, have you ever wanted to be dead to Karn or Chalice? Or Blood Moon? Though I do have Force Blue card, I'm going to keep this. Aether Vial backed by Force Blue card is my entire plan this game. I don't know if they're going to expect Force of Will out of me. They kept 7, that's bad news. Chalice of the Void. No, thank you. Alright, boom. We won the small toss. Won the battle. See if we can hang out for the war. Okay, good. Yeah, finding a colored source off basic land. I'm going to get a plains here. That represents the Flicker Wisp. Over time, like, I'm into this. I don't think I wanted to get Island there. Like, I'm thinking, like, Caracas is a white source, so maybe I'm supposed to get Island and diversify a little bit, but I'm not convinced about that. Like, I think just having white and making sure I always have white, even if they moon me, is going to be a better payoff. Ouch. Okay, sure. Alright, that was a good abrade. So I can Mother of Runes and Pithing Needle. Alright, found the island anyway. Do I blind name Karn or Chandra? I'm doing one of them. It's a coin flip. I'm gonna name Chandra. Oh god, which one is it? It is Torch of Defiance. I hope that's right. Yeah, that was just a 50-50. Do you have Karn or Chandra? Some lists play more Karn than Chandra. Like, I recorded a list with Red Prison recently that had 4 Karn, 3 Chandra. Mother of Runes will control this Rabble Master with the help of Flicker Wisp. This is when you play a land, not when a land comes into play. So I can't Stone Rain them by Wisping. That was an even better draw. Yep. Get me that Cauldra. Let's make Cauldra complete. Mother of Runes. The Stoneforge Mystic and Mother of Runes can absorb some goblin damage here. I'll probably just block a token with Stoneforge Mystic. Like, I could absorb more, like if I block Rabble Master with Mom. Or they're just conceding. They've had enough. Cauldra is complete. That was a crazy match. I was not expecting Red Prison to get that crazy. And that's also a 4-1 with fairy taxes in Legacy. So I just want to say, while I have your captive audience here, I have 4-1'd recently with 5-color Niv Mizzet Domain Zoo Yorion, Bant Flash, White Stacks, and now this deck. Like, one of these days, I'll get that 5-0 and publish something absurd into the public record. I'm glad these are all on camera, or else no one would ever know they even happened. Anyway, 4-1. Respectable finish by anyone's definition. This deck is kind of wild. Spellstutter Sprite is a banger. Love that. I actually think that the Winter Orb Cloud of Faeries thing is the worst part of this deck by a lot. Like, I think that you could play Winter Orb in a deck like this with the Aether Vials, just if you want to. And I think Cloud of Faeries is pretty bad. The meme is fun. Fairy Miscreant did draw cards to this league, so scoreboard. I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure why you would do this if you weren't trying to do the Winter Orb thing. But this came up in another league recently where Blue Red Delver is the best deck in the format right now. It's the most represented deck in the format, and it's not a deck that particularly cares about Winter Orb. So if you're warping your entire strategy to do goofy things with Winter Orb in a meta that doesn't care about Winter Orb, then you're building for the wrong world. So that's just a fact of reality if you're actually just trying to win all your games of Legacy and be a Legacy superstar. If you're trying to have fun, the Cloud of Faeries Winter Orb thing is cool. It's a shame we never got to fully go off with that. We did have a few cool Cloud of Faeries moments. Like I've ported them, filed it in, ported them again. That happened at least once. Hardcasting Cauldra with the Aether Vial and 5 lands was awesome when that happened. So some cool stuff happened here. Mostly this is Death and Taxes with a small counter package, which I know you can build better than this particular version, but this was a lot of fun. I'm glad it happened. I regret we never got to flicker a Fairy Miscreant with Soul Herder. That was one of my major goals for the league, and it didn't happen. So I'm gonna live an incomplete life moving forward. But I can imagine if I play enough games, it will occur. So thank you all for watching. King of the Depths, thank you for sharing this idea with me. I hope this league was to your liking. And everyone else, I hope you had fun on this wild journey to another ridiculous 4-1. Make sure to comment your thoughts about the list or how I played it. Happy to talk about it. Like and subscribe while you're here. And if you want to get in the conversation more in depth, I have a Patreon that comes with a Discord channel, and we talk about Magic all the time in there. Come check it out. All of that is linked in the video description below. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.